Alright, what I have now is I've put together step 7. And step 7 is, well, it says in the instructions it's called fixing a front bumper. So it has to do with the front bumper, but it also has to do with the back. There's the first part of step 7, which is the front bumper, I'm guessing. And then the second part of step 7 is this back bumper portion. And it's got a hook and some rollers on it for cables. And so next what I need to do, since these bumper parts are most likely going to be seen, in other words they'll be exposed on the outside, I'm going to paint them the desert yellow. So I will get out my desert yellow, which is XF15 by Tamiya, and paint these up. I think at least this front bumper. This back portion I think is going to be, because it has a spring and some rollers and a hook, I'm going to paint this NATO black and do the same thing I did with this chassis and the engine, and that is I'm going to put the weathering pastels on it. But this front bumper part, I'll paint this the desert yellow. Okay. Okay, I made a mistake. The desert yellow is XF59. The other one I showed you was flesh, flat flesh. Grabbed the wrong bottle. Anyway, the desert yellow is going to be used on this bumper right here. So let's get the brush out. All right, desert yellow on the front bumper. Now I may come back through and put a little bit of a darker color like the NATO black on these hooks and stuff. But we'll see. Once this all dries up, I'll decide that. Okay. So there's the front bumper painted. And the back bumper, it's not really a bumper, but there's the back portion of the chassis painted NATO black. And so far, I just thought of this, so far the only two actual paint colors that have been used in this build are the NATO black and the desert yellow. And then of course all the weathering pastels, the Tamiya weathering pastels. Okay, so that's step 7. The only thing left to do on step 7 is to glue those parts onto the chassis, and that won't happen until the paint dries. So we'll just leave that sitting around for a while, and we're going to move on to step 8. Excuse me. And step 8 is fixing the seats onto the floor of the chassis, right? Or not chassis, but the floor of the vehicle. The only thing is, I'm thinking I'm going to be painting the floor of the vehicle first before I put the seats, and there's an instrument console in the center and headlights they want you to put on, and some back fenders, and it's like some stick shifts and a bunch of little things that need to be added on, and those are not all going to be the exact same color. So they do not tell you in the instructions anywhere here what color to paint all this stuff, but since the color scheme I'm going with is the desert yellow for the vehicle, the main part of this is going to be desert yellow. The seats are going to be maybe something different, kind of a brown, so they kind of look like leather perhaps. Anyway, okay, so what's happening now is I'm looking at this vehicle, and this floor of the vehicle right here, step 8, there's going to be a lot of things attached to it. Seats, stick shifts, a brake handle, a center console with some instruments on it, headlights on the front, etc., etc. And then we have the top of the vehicle, 2 main parts like this, and this whole thing's going to be desert yellow basically. So plus there's a bunch of other little parts here and there. A lot of parts on this sprue that are going to be desert yellow. Doors, canvas top, etc. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take a break from sitting at my desk right here, and I'm going to start airbrushing. The front bumper assembly is now on. That's what it looks like. Just plugs into the frame of the vehicle. A couple little spots there on the front, just plugs right into it, and just a couple dabs of glue, and it looks great. Fits on there just nicely. I love these Tamiya kits that fit together this well. So the next piece that's going to go on is this back bumper assembly right here, and it, same sort of thing, just plugs into the back there. There's a couple notches in the back, so it's just a matter of putting a couple dabs of glue right there, taking this thing and let's put it the right way first of all. If I can get it together here, folks, we'll get it. a little bit more glue to it as I kind of lost it there with fiddling around with it too much. But there it is. It just sort of, there's like an indentation in the back frame where it just sort of lines up with it, and that's it. Just like that. Okay. There's the back bumper. There's a couple of rollers there for cables, I guess. Oh, and I hit the front bumper in the process. Put that back on. There we go. Okay. Front bumper is on. Back bumper is on. Okay, just going to leave that alone for a while. Okay, as you can see here, maybe, here's the interior of the vehicle, the floor, and I've added the seats. I've added all the levers, the gear shift levers and such. I've added a little console or whatever it's called right here. I have added these two front headlights, and this is all in step number 8. And there are two rear wheel flaps, right? Not flaps, but whatever they are, mud guards, I guess. They go on the back here, and I'm still trying to figure out the correct way to put those on. But whoa, that seat didn't hold. Well, that seat just fell right off as I tipped it. Okay, well, anyway, I was saying the instructions are kind of vague as to how these are supposed to go on. Okay. Okay, we're going to leave the interior parts of the vehicle alone for a while, and we're going to move over and start some work in step 9 on the cab. So I've put this wall in right here. It just glues into the back portion of the cab, and they want me now to put in windscreens and windows and stuff. Okay. My only thing is, I have no choice. I have to put them in now because within the next couple of steps, this all has to be put together, top to the bottom. So, and it isn't something I can add later. So, I want to protect them somehow, not get them scratched up or fingerprints on them or whatever. So I haven't even opened the bag yet with the clear parts in it, just to keep them clean. I'm thinking I should protect them somehow with either masking fluid or tape, and then put them in. Got to think about that for a while and make a decision here. Okay, so I started putting the windows in. I've got the front 2 in right now, and even being very careful and having gloves on, I still managed to mark them up. But they are what they are. They're not too bad. I'll live with it. So I'm going to continue on with this, and we'll start putting the rest of the... I am continuing work on the cab portion of the tractor. And I've got a lot of parts here ready to go. And this is step 10. And what I've done here is I put the clear parts in these doors. I don't know if you can even see it or not. But they're in there. And I've got several other parts here that I'm going to start gluing onto here. One of them being the tarp that goes on top. Not really a tarp per se, but a canvas top. Kind of like a convertible top in a sense. And it's been painted the buff color that was required of it. And I already glued down the cross member pieces here that they're going to hold that convertible top on. And it looks like in the instructions it goes on just like that. Okay. But first I'm going to add a few other pieces. There's a hatch here. It's going to go on. This top hatch. And I am not sure if I'm going to put it in the closed or open position. It's a tight fit. I should just leave it open. There's a front grille here that needs to go on. Okay. Okay, I'm now putting the parts together, the main parts together. This is basically step 11 right now that I'm on. And I've put the chassis together with the bottom half of the vehicle. Fit together pretty well. There's the top. It's ready to go. I'll probably put that on next, and then I'll do use a little bit of the weathering pastels on it. And then we have the driver figure. Gotta finish painting him, put his arms on, and see how he fits into the chair, into the driver's seat. Okay. Next. Here is the tractor. It is all finished, except for decals. There's a few decals that go on it. Yeah, came out all right. Haven't done any weathering to it yet, but it is completed. The body of this thing is not glued on. It's just basically snapped into position and just held down there by friction. So yeah, fit together pretty nice. See the back side there. It all fit together pretty nicely. So all that's left to do to this is, like I said, decals and a little bit more weathering on the body itself here. I elected not to use this driver figure. Really didn't fit in there very well. It was too crammed in there between the steering wheel and the seat. And I don't know, I just didn't like the way it looked and the way it fit. I mean, it's a good looking figure that they built, except for the arms are kind of, didn't really fit on that well. You can see the back side of them there. It's like where the arms attached to the shoulder there, they're just, he's got these little wings. Because it didn't fit right. That was the other reason. Yeah. So, I'll save this little guy and put it into my stash of all the other little figures I have that I haven't used. Okay, onward and upward, we're going to do a little more weathering to it. And I think there's a few decals to put on. And other than that, I'm pretty much done with this thing. Okay, I have a few decals on now. Some on the front, the doors, and some on the back. I have done a little bit of weathering, not a whole lot, just to give it a little bit of character. And if you look real carefully, you'll see that there's windshield wipers on those front windows, and I am not even going to attempt to try and paint those. At least not right now. Maybe when I'm in a totally calm and serene mood, I will try that. It's kind of a little fiddly for me. Looks really small, and with my old fingers and eyes, I don't know if I can do it or not. I'm afraid if I try it, I will really mess up the rest of the window. However, I could try putting some masking fluid down around them and then painting them. See how that works. That's an idea. Maybe I'll try that. Anyway, there it is. Pretty much all done now, except for those windshield wiper blades. And I'm going to put a little bit of a clear coat over the decals, just to seal them and to protect them. So when I come back, I will either have those wiper blades done or not, and we'll have one last look at the model with some photographs, some stills. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, here it is. The tractor is finished. I did not use the driver figure. It didn't fit very well. You're not going to see him in there anyway. Thanks for watching.